Okay. Well, hold on a second. That's a different subject, but I want to speak on um, it's stay, tay, baby, and definitely want to speak on this whole high body count, hypocrisy, and then you got the low body count hypocrisy shaming on both genders. And it's really a problem. And this is so I know what I notice is that the gender war is stupid. Once you understand the government, I'm not saying I can't call people on their fuckery. I'm not that doesn't exonerate them from their bad behavior and piss poor choices and bad decisions. It doesn't exonerate them. But my thing is, once you understand the hypocrisy and how when you have issues with both genders with this stupid gender war, and a lot of times, when you have women complain about men, they don't never call out the women who enable the fuckery. But if a woman's in agreement with a man who got valid points, it's not like the men that they complain about. She's called a pick me. Funny how that works. Now, and yeah, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification. Hit the subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Definitely support the channel through Cash App. Cash App is the way to go. But I also got a PayPal, so you can help with the algorithm and help keep my channel going. Just like, and because we're talking about real stuff, I know a lot of people don't like what's real. A lot of people want to be entertained. I'm entertaining. But also, I get the job done like Big Daddy Kane. I'm trying to teach and show and help solve the problems. So this is a problem-solving channel. This is about educating, awareness, having a healthy dialogue, keeping it respectful. That's what it is. And also us having this open space, especially men's space. So that's what my channel is about. So we're gonna talk about with this lady. High body count. Let's talk. Now I don't know. I think it's a short, but I think let's look at her.
Quick question for my men. So y'all always talking about body count this, she stretched out this, if she has this many guys, she a hoe, she for the street.
Now what does this say? Now she's a nice lady. you know, she advocates for men, as she claims. Don't have a problem with her. She advocates for men and mental health. Okay. One thing about these female content creators, and this is not about her. I don't trust the majority of female content creators who advocate for men. And that's the next live stream. And that's going to be on my main channel. I don't trust a lot of these female content creators because they're like the female version of Derek Jackson. They tell you guys what you want to hear. They coddle you, overly coddle you, as a form of manipulation. Now, coddling is healthy. I don't care what people say, especially for children developing and evolving and growing. For growing children, coddling is very necessary. And a lot of boys should not be, a lot of mothers and a lot of fathers should not be canceled because they coddle their children or overly spoil their children. My thing is, you don't know what's going on in that household. You don't know what's going on. And my thing, yes, there's bad behavior, but all y'all behave badly at one point. A lot of y'all are snapped or had an emotional outburst. So I just don't like the way people are so self-righteous. When I was a kid, man, shut the fuck up. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Heifer, shut the fuck up. You was not no goody two shoes. That's why you was in court. Well, it's because then they say it's the system. Okay, but you was in court though. You was like, well, I was being bullied, but see, but why is someone? See, this is the problem with us as a people. We are so insensitive, and we're going to say we're hard on each other. How's that hardness help get us free as a people? Well, what does that got to do with what you're talking about, Calvin? Are we on the topic? We are on the topic. Everything's connected. See, a lot of y'all people are just, you're not smart. Some of y'all are too smart for your own good. You're so smart, but that you outsmarted yourself. You don't know how to connect the basics, the dots. Everything has a paper trail. Everything is all connected, but we are so quick to make quick judgments. But a lot of times you gotta fall back to get all the facts. That's why I don't. Even when it comes to reaction videos or viral videos, I don't do them. I don't do it. I'll speak on sometimes trending topics, but that's not my thing. I speak on the problems at hand. I try to get all sides of the story, not just the side that can push a narrative and just throw out my opinion. Because my thing, I reserve my opinion. I get all the facts, then I go by from a non-biased point of view. Then very little, or sometimes, or very. I will give my personal opinion. But when I'm sticking with the facts, be sticking on facts over feelings. And a lot of times you got to factor in feelings when it comes to behavior, when it comes to these situations. Now, back on the subject, I don't trust a lot of these female content creators. I don't have a problem with this lady. I like this lady. Then she got a lot of more tattoos than I like. Now she probably think you are not my cup of tea. Okay, that's good. See, I don't get a fit. I don't just lose my shit because a woman says I don't like the way you look. Women have y'all. I already know y'all. A lot of y'all don't like the way I look. But what I realize is that a lot of y'all be capping. A lot of you ladies be capping, especially a lot of these fitness chicks. Now she might have been a big chubby girl back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her for making her progress and life and stuff and her life journeys and accomplishing the stuff that she has accomplished so far in life. No problem with that. I'm proud of her. But when it comes to me, I have women say, you ain't my cup of tea, like that's gonna hurt my feelings. I'm not here for you, bitch. I'm not here for you. I give a fuck what you say. You ain't paying nothing. You ain't paying nothing in this. When it comes to the roof over my head, you ain't paying a goddamn thing. So I don't give a fuck what you say. You ain't getting on your knees for me and letting me release that ice cream in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Understand what I'm saying? So you're not doing anything. You're not cooking me no. You ain't rubbing my back. You ain't giving me your feet to worship. To please my foot fetish. You're not giving me no foot job. You ain't. So I don't care. So I don't understand why some of you guys get all hot and bothered when you will never have access to her. You will never be able to touch her. I have met some. I have met. I will believe it or not. Calvin, you got a mental health issues. Not used to be Calvin, you're fat. Calvin, you're broke. Now you have a mental health. You like to make them Kanye West jokes, even though Kanye West is almost a billionaire. And some of y'all wish you was in Kanye West's shoes. Some of y'all would not wish you was in his shoes. But the people who say I wouldn't want to be in Kanye West's situation, I don't care how much money he has, because we understand that money does not fulfill you. You can buy certain things, but we understand, and this is gonna be a different live stream, that Kanye West got canceled. Even though he was a billionaire and he was no longer a billionaire, but he still got $200 million. But the fact that he got to move differently, but he can't be the everyday person. That's a problem. But a lot of people want to be famous. Even social media influencers got to understand. You have a responsibility. If you have an image and a brand, and you're on social media, I have a little something going on for me, especially in the adult, entertainment type of sector. But see, I gotta watch how I move too. If you're on social media and you're speaking truth to power, you do certain things. You could be cooking. I'm gonna get more into to cooking maybe gardening in the future. Because I like to expand. You know what I'm saying? But you really can't be slipping. You could, because now you got regular everyday people who got a microphone, who got a camera phone, smartphone, got a laptop, got a computer, got a microphone. Now they can say whatever. Now you ask the everyday person, somebody can recognize you in less than a heartbeat. They may love you, they may want to be with you, they may want to, clap cheeks with you. But there's some who want to come for you. And I have had my share of people wanting to delete me, unalive me, because they don't like what I'm talking about, even though I show them the data, the facts, even go into the psychology, the sociology, psychology. Oh, can you get to the point? Well, I'm getting to, you don't get to tell me what to get to the point. You can't even understand square one. You can't. You're not even at first base, and you want to get to the home run, the third base. You got to get from first base, second base, third base, and so you can. You got. It's like you can't hit the. You're trying to hit the home run. Then this is the problem. I don't trust these female content creators. I'm not talking about her specifically, but a lot of these women are not who they are. Now, no disrespect to it's Stay Tay Baby, no disrespect to her, but I'm like, if you're gonna speak on some, especially or even give your advice or speak about relationships, where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your? I mean, I'm pretty sure. Now I don't know if she's seeing somebody or not. I'm not here, but my thing is this. You got these women who advocate for men, but they don't got no man. She's a typical modern woman. I guarantee, I will bet you money. I will bet you whatever I got in my bank. I will bet you my life that a lot of these women are not who they are. They have a persona. A lot of these people who give you advice or speak on certain issues or who claim to be activists, but you don't see them do no work. I'm not saying they got to put their business out there because I believe you have to have balance. You need to let people be. You got to take care of your business in silence, but also you gotta make yourself known that you're getting the job done, that you're making some progress. But for the most part, you should be taking stuff. You should not be on social media all day if you're at focusing on the task at hand and trying to get stuff done to make the world a better place. You doing 6 hour live streams, 8 hour live streams, and you talking about no disrespect to Jason Black, but I gotta no disrespect to those who do 6 hour live streams. You can't tell me about the people if you just on there just running your mouth. You're not doing no call-in show. You're not doing no panel show. So what's the point of all this? But you're saying I'm doing work for the community. I'm doing work for the people. I'm doing work in politics. I'm an activist. If you're a real activist, you ain't gonna be on no social media. A lot of times you're not gonna be on social media. You're not gonna really have time to do that. If you're really making moves, you're not gonna really be having the luxury to be on social media. Now you may make some content on your break time, your short little break. But for the most part, you're not gonna be able to do no 8 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour live streams every day. Y'all gotta pay attention, people. I'm just gonna say it like this. Okay? So we're gonna talk to her latest YouTube short. Okay. I'm trying to find a video, people. Let me play this video.
Would you date somebody that had a foot fetish? Uh, Guys, here's the thing. I'm not really a fan of like getting my feet touched. I don't know what it is about. I'm not ticklish, none of that type of stuff. I don't know. It's just something I don't really, I crave it. I don't need it, But I've been with somebody who like,
Trust me, when she finds the right guy, maybe somebody like me, she gonna enjoy the hell out of it. At least the foot massage aspect, without asking.
like touching feet and stuff. So, I mean, that's not a deal breaker. He's touching my feet, you guys. It's not like oh, you want to be with a guy who does anal every day. Like, nah. Like, why did I say that? Never mind. Would you date somebody that had a...
Okay, now let me get back to the. Now let's play this video.
Quick question for my men. So, y'all always talking about body count this, she stretched out this, if she has this many guys, she a hoe, she for the streets. Cool. I have a theory for y'all. Since you think that so much, since you have been doing all this crazy stuff with all these women, when you do get with that girl who has 2-3 bodies, or maybe she don't have that many bodies,
Or she a virgin, or a virgin.
one body, how do you think sex is going to be with her? You are going out here, having outdoor sex, doing threesomes, doing all this fun stuff. You're so desensitized that once you start...
She ain't lying about that part. And I ain't trying to accuse her of nothing. When I hear women start describing in detail about, body count and the details of the details of what she's talking about, her body count is usually pretty high. No disrespect to her, but I'm saying you hear people start talking about certain things, and that, especially in deep, intimate details, that's because they have done it, and they have done it on more than one occasion.
Doing so much stuff, you can only go up and up and up until you're fully satisfied. Then you go back to...
A lot of times you're not going to be satisfied. A lot of times you will not be satisfied. And that's the downside, even with the downside of being a foot connoisseur. You're not going to be satisfied with one chick. Now, I know for the women, they're not going to be satisfied with just dealing with one dude. She's on point. But a lot of times, these are the people who have done that stuff, who have done their freaknik. You know what I'm saying? They have done their everyday freaknik, social media freaknik. You understand what I'm saying?
Vanilla sex or normal sex, how are you satisfied? And I know this for a fact because I know a lot of men say that my wife won't experiment with me, my wife doesn't like this, my wife doesn't like that, or I don't get to do this, or my girl's not as sexual.
And that's the thing. That's why I say monogamy is not natural for both men and women. And I would say a lot of women are against monogamy. They say they want monogamy to control you as a man. Now, I don't understand is that why is that you want to control a man's access to women when some of y'all don't want to even do the bare minimum. Y'all don't want to do nothing, but you want to take what he got. I'm not saying this is in general. I'm not talking about her. I'm speaking about in general of the modern woman. It's like this, and you got a lot of modern males as well, but you got the modern woman under the gynocracy, and gynocracy favors her. And the Simpson able to fuckery.
You don't want a girl who has more experience because is it an insecurity thing or...
It may be an insecurity thing for some of these males. They are so afraid about what people think. They're so afraid about the opinions of others. But these guys claim to be so alpha. They're so woke. They're so red pill. They're so awakened. They're so conscious. But a lot of these guys are not about that life. They just say these things to sound cute on social media. Even they say this stuff in public, offline, off social media. They're not about that life. When shit gets real tough, when your back is against the wall, it reveals who you are. It don't build character. Going through bad shit don't build character. It just reveals who you are. Going through any type of challenge, it doesn't have to be negative. It can be a positive experience, but it just reveals who you are. It can be, let me say this. It doesn't have to be, you can have something, let's just say you have access to money. Let's just say you started just driving the best, you start getting Bentleys, Lamborghinis. That's a challenge because how do you enjoy something that you never experienced? You worked your tail off and all that stuff. And that's a myth. If you was born into that situation, you had a hand to it, you probably wouldn't know how to do. You probably know how to operate, but you've been working 9 to 5 every day, extra average, Now, when you start moving to a different space in life and a different environment, and it's like this, or you start moving out the neighborhood to a different community, you don't know how to cope. You don't know how to move. This is the reason why some people who get contracts or become multimillionaires, billionaires, some of them go broke real fast because they didn't know how to handle the situation, and the people around them were bloodsuckers, vultures. Now, this can be applied to women. You start becoming a self-made man and start attracting different types of women, and you start having access to these women. You don't know how to handle it, and sometimes y'all will get a Me Too. The more women you deal with, you don't even have to deal with a woman. She can just say you did something because that's how pornography is. But also, at the same part, you got to factor in, you can be, if you deal with more women, you are at risk for Me Too as a man. I'm not saying women are not at risk for any negative consequences or negative circumstances when it comes to dealing with males. But guys, when you deal with multiple females, and if you're not humble, if you're not observant, you know, and sometimes being very humble makes you a soft target. So you start having connections and start having access to multiple women, you don't know how to cope. You don't know how to chill. Because it's like it's so a nuance to you. So having access to all these bodies of this high body count, it's hard to just be chilled. And I don't know, this I don't understand is that I do understand, but I don't understand. You can have a better understanding than you did before. But a lot of these women want dudes or desire dudes who get women. And some of these women are so delusional, they think that just because he can attract a woman, a pull woman, you don't know if this man's a liar, you don't know if this man got a, he can have some type of celebrity or word of mouth, especially women are prone to be on word of mouth shit. So that's why these women want to fuck with him, or you got something going on, and they're curious about it. Like the foot fetish thing I just showed. Now, I'm not sure about her feet, but, I wouldn't say no. Probably wouldn't say no. Just like I didn't say no to the lady who came over to my house, my home.
Or I really don't understand the real reasoning, because when guys say it, it's because they don't want a girl with a lot of miles on them. So if you are having a lot of sex, what does that make you? No attacking.
That makes him a whoremonger male. And especially if he's not honest about it, especially if he's not even real with himself, but he's a fake holy roller. Now, if people are honest about who they are and who they was, we want to have these conversations.
But quick question for my men. So y'all always talking about body count this, she stretched out this, if she has this many guys, she a hoe, she for the streets. Cool. I have a theory for y'all. Since you think that so much, since you have been doing all this crazy stuff with all these women, when you do get with that girl who has 2-3 bodies, or maybe she don't have that many bodies, one body, how do you think sex is going to be with her? You are going out here, having outdoor...
The sex, actually, to be honest, well, I can't say, but to me, I've never really been the guy that says she got to have a lot of bodies. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't want a woman who have a lot of bodies. But I understand I got to be honest with myself, and I can't be delusional because I'm a conservative guy, even still to this day, even though I've done some wild stuff. Just adapting. It's hard to be a good guy in this world, especially when you deal with the modern woman. It's hard to be a good guy. A lot of times these women will be feminists. A lot of times these women will be 304s. I think they're just feminists in general. Even the women who claim to be advocates for them got a misandric mindset. But my thing is this. You'll be surprised how many women who don't want men with high body counts. Because this is the narrative. If you don't sleep around, especially in the black community, I have to be honest. I mean, I'm not saying this don't go on in other communities, but let's be real. The way we judge manhood is really sad and pathetic. Especially why are we getting our the concept of manhood from the colonizer. Their attitude towards manhood and womanhood has been trash and been dusty. But yet some of y'all want to swirl and divest to those cave beasts, or these Neanderthals, these devils. That's what y'all say, right? Especially the pro-blacks, which many of them are pro-wax. My thing is, to me, if a woman, let's just say a woman was a virgin, to me, I don't need a woman to be experienced to satisfy me. Speaking from being honest, to me, she can learn. We can learn. I can learn from even a woman. I'm not going to say what I did yesterday with this red bone BBW. She from Michigan. I ain't going to say nothing else. I'm not going to say which part. But I'm not going to say yeah, but I could tell she got freak in her, even though she is like wanted to talk about. She's telling me she wanted to take it slow. She's not looking for sex, but she does enjoy having her feet rubbed since I'm her first. But I could tell she got freak in her, and by her the way she was like, I'm trying to keep this very rated G. The way she was moving her watermelons and I'm laying on the ground and she's like, we're having fun, and she's sitting on top of my chest and she's shaking them watermelons and force feeding me to, to enjoy her, to suck on her jugs. But I could tell she freaky the way she was kissing on me, and she was horny. But but to me, I don't have. If it comes to a woman who's, I don't need a woman. Let me tell you, ladies, this. I don't need a woman to be experienced. A man, you got these men who are saying you need to be experienced. A lot of these guys are the Derrick Jackson types. Them Derrick Jackson, them simps. A woman be having experience, they want that woman to have experience, but they want a virgin. No, that's delusional to me. You got women who say they want a man with experience, but then they want a man who has not been out in these streets. So we have a lot of delusional expectations on both parties. Now, if you're a balanced person and you don't take a side, you don't side with the women, you don't side with the men, and you are just, I wouldn't even say neutral, but you see people, both parties got valid arguments. Both parties got flaws in what they're saying. Both parties are capping. There are people, but one thing I know is about both parties, a lot of them are not being real and telling the truth. But when you got somebody who's real about these women, you got women who are real about each other, who about these women, in an agreement with the men. You got men who are real about these women, about how some of these men are. Now it's a problem. Also calling out women on their bullshit and standing 10 toes down. You will get canceled. But you see both sides of the argument. You got women who stand 10 toes down with the men, but also stand 10 toes down for the women who are the good girls, which is very hard to find. And you got men who will stand, hey, I'm the good guys, but I'm not lying saying I'm the good guy. I'm not this Puritan. But I stand on principle. This is my values. But when people share their values and have a balanced perspective and see all sides and angles to where people are coming from, and you don't take no side, you just go by what you side with the facts and the truth and the evidence and the witnesses, now you cancel. And the thing about this, the delusion is so unreal, and you got too many of these social media fake gurus telling you stuff. Now she asked a valid question. I'm gonna play that again.
Sex, doing threesomes, doing all this fun stuff. You're so desensitized that once you start doing.
She knows what she's talking about because she was probably Now she'll probably deny it, more than likely deny it, but she knows too much about that. And I'm not saying go buy her tattoos or something. You can't go by that. You can't always go by that. Sometimes you can, but that don't tell you everything. You gotta really read them pages of that book. You can kind of judge a book by its cover, but when you go out your way to weaponize and tear people down instead of uplifting people, then you're trash. But if you see something about a book cover, it can be fucked up. You can see that, so there's a problem. But instead of making assumptions, get all the facts, have empathy, and then you get an understanding. Then I'm not saying you excuse fuckery and exonerate them from stupidity and poor choices, but if this person got some type of issues, baggage, or something like that, okay, you got empathy. Now, here's the thing that nobody really going to talk about. If I never been in that situation or dealt with certain type of traumas, okay, you may have your own issues, but if you have my thing, this is where empathy comes into play. That doesn't mean you're coddling and making excuses for fuckery. But if this person is not educated as you in certain things, why are you tearing them down instead of uplifting them? That's something I don't understand. I just don't understand that part. But I forgot. Find the loopholes and stuff. And my thing is that okay, maybe this person making me look like working out. Maybe this person just has a disability or something, a disorder, and this person dealt with some shit, some psychological issues, where they're out being a 304, male, female 403, female 304, or they never had access to when they was younger, and now they get it, they don't know what to do. Now you can judge a book by its cover and say, hey, there's something off. This person, okay, this person's cool, maybe a nice person, cool person, but there's something off. And you read, and sometimes you just can't put yourself in other people's shoes. You should have empathy, but it's hard to. I don't know what it's like to deal with constant somebody in the wheelchair. I don't know what that's like for people to function. I don't know what it's like some people who got to be dependent on certain medications, or somebody who's not seen the mean streets, but somebody who's been in the military. Now I have issues with the military and the bull. Yeah, but I could tell that the type of indoctrination is bad. But I don't know what it's like for people to be so brainwashed, like the military folk, people who work in government, or be dumbfounded how crooked this government is. How can you work in government and be this ignorant? But it's beyond me. But once I understood psychology and sociology, I'm able. But to me, you have to learn from this person, even if you may not want to, and you may think you have all the answers of what they should do. You don't, because you was never with them 24/7. So it's about empathy.
So much stuff, you can only go up and up and up until you're fully satisfied. Then you go back to vanilla sex or normal sex.
You can't go up and up when it comes to that.
How are you satisfied? And I know this for a fact because I know a lot of men say that my wife won't experiment with me. My wife doesn't like this. My wife doesn't like that. Or I don't get to do this. Or my girl's not as sexual. But you don't want a girl who has more experience because is it an insecurity thing? Or I really don't understand the real reasoning, because when guys say it, it's because they don't want a girl with a lot of miles on them. So if you are having a lot of sex, what does that make you? No attacking, but real question. Quick question for my men. So y'all always talking about body count this, she stretched out this, if she has this many guys, she a hoe, she for the streets. Cool. I have a theory for y'all. Since you think that so much, since you have been doing all this crazy stuff with all these women, when you do get with that girl who has 2-3 bodies, or maybe she don't have that many bodies, one body, how do you think sex is going to be with her? You are going out here, having outdoor sex, doing 3.
And I want to have a problem with her, but the temptation to want variety and to experience a different body, it's real. And she knows too much about this. No attacking on her, but it seems like she, did her fun, did her naughtiness, did her dirt. I'm just going to leave it at that. Because when people explain certain things, that's because they dealt with it and they've been in it, they experienced it. Even if they didn't participate, you still have a connection by association, or guilty by association, because you hung with certain people who was like that. We already know we got certain family members who are crazy like that. So that's what I'm getting at. But the way she explained it in all detail,
Do all this fun stuff, you're so desensitized that you once you start doing.
see, it's gonna be hard to pair bond when you have a high body count. So when these guys are saying they want virgins, and when these women, you'll be a lot more surprised how many women with high body counts want a man with a lower body count. You'll be surprised how you got more and more women in today's time who want a man who's to himself, who ain't dealing with multiple women. You'll be surprised how many of these women, and these are not women who are older either. Not, some of y'all will think because somebody's just older, maybe they're over the age of 30, and so they haven't. No, you got some people come to the realization early on in life. You got women who say, I just don't want to do who's been with, have gone down, eat different kitty, had different relations with different women. That's just never been my thing. But I've been pressured by society. I've been pressured by the sisterhood that he's a top tier man, or he good in bed, or he must have money, or he got game. So that's why I'm dealing with him, so I can look cool in front of the peers. So it's like a popularity contest, sadly. hmm on the flip side, you got dudes who are capping because these dudes talk about they don't want no woman with no high body count, but they assume that a woman, but they say they want a woman who's close to a virgin, but truth of the matter is they're still dealing with women with higher body counts and actually contributing to the problem. They want a woman who knows this and that. So there's a lot of cap. There's a lot of people are just disingenuous. This is why it's so pointless to have these making relationship content. I don't make relationship content. I speak about the world, and I speak about issues, and even a variety of issues. I do speak on more about misandry, and especially anti-black misandry, more so. But I also speak about the government. That's part of the problem. The corporations. I do speak on those things in past and current events, and sometimes give history lessons. So that's what my content. When people say I just talk about goofy heifers, I laugh in their face. I said you ain't obviously ain't watched my content full time. Sit your ass down. You just are. You just want to focus on the videos I make about women because you know I'm telling the truth about some of these hoes. That's what it is.
So much stuff, you can only go up and up and up until you're fully satisfied. Then when you go back to vanilla sex,
That's gonna be hard to be satisfied. I can tell you that for sure.
or normal sex, how are you satisfied? And I know this for a fact because I know a lot of men say that.
But baby, but it's stay baby. You done you. It's not just coming from the men. Come on. You've been in that. You was at one point, or maybe multiple points in them streets. You know too much about what you're talking about. I could just tell by the tone, the way you expressing your words, that your insight is too damn deep. So you obviously you've been thinking about this, and no disrespect. Where's her husband? Now she not using this against her. I mean I'm not sure, but she's a woman. She's a problem. She's more. I'm not sure. I might misheard her, but I can recall kind of that she's a single mother, that she had a child from a previous relationship, and now she's single. So, you know, I've told you about these female contacts. I'm not saying people live perfect lives or they don't make mistakes, but when you have a child and make the decision to take, because before Roe versus Wade, you when women carry their children up to 9 months, they know what they're doing. They're going through with it. Now we could talk about nature, but I'm not trying to change the subject. But where's her husband? Now she might be dealing with a dude, but here's the thing. What I mean, that's what she does with her personal life off social media. It's her business, okay. But my thing is, this is what I'm talking about. You guys be supporting female content creators But at the same time, these women are single themselves. They're doing a lot of bunch of modern woman shit off social media, off the internet. They just say this shit so they can make some easy money. Not saying her, but I'm speaking about these female content creators. And you dudes will give them money, but people like me who speak real stuff, who lives, dealt with certain things, especially in the legal department, especially when it came to the mental health department, y'all don't want to listen to me. Men like us, I should say. But you want to just because you just want somebody, you want to look at them watermelons, them small cantaloupes. You want to look at her, and I'm not saying she's provocative, but you just want to look at somebody. You want to look at her, and just like these women who may talk shit to me, there's women who say, you are fine. I do want to just snuggle with you. I just want to just lie on top of your daddy body. I'm talking so much shit about you, but I really want to just, there's women who have slided in my DMs. Even women who are married, and they should be taking care of their husband, taking care of their kids, their husband and children, but no, they rather argue with me because I don't know what it is. Because it's one thing to have a problem with what I say, and especially when I show the stuff, you have women want to argue with you and just be combative. And I'm like, oh my God. That I already know that man is like, that's why he don't want to be around her. Or that's why she's single. She's still married, but she carries herself as a single woman. hmm But again, this when she's saying these things, she got too much deep insight. It's one thing to have insight from interviews and podcasts and talking to people, meeting different people. But when you have this type of insight, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about.
Experiment with me. My wife doesn't like this. My wife doesn't like that. Or I don't get to do this. Or my girl's not as sexual. But you don't want a girl who has more experience because is it an insecurity thing? Or I really don't understand the real reasoning because when
They want to just get off, baby. They just want to get off, but they want a virgin. They just so delusional.
I say it's because they don't want a girl with a lot of miles on them. So if you are having a lot of sex, what does that make you? No attacking, but real question. Quick question for my men. So y'all always talking about body count this, she stretched out this, if she has this many guys, she a hoe, she for the streets. Cool. I have a theory for y'all. Since you think that so much, since you have been doing all this crazy stuff with all these women, when you do get with that girl who has 2, 3 bodies, or maybe she don't have that many
And she been doing a lot of crazy stuff with these men.
bodies, one body, how do you think sex is going to be with her? You are going out here, having outdoor sex, doing threesomes, doing all this fun stuff. You're so desensitized that once you start doing so much stuff, you can only go up and up and up until you're fully satisfied.
And you can never be satisfied. And a lot of these women are desensitized, and a lot of these men are very unsensitized. You have a small number of men who are able to pull women. You do got a lot of men, and then for some, even if they make their breakthrough, they start becoming desensitized and start, falling into that, Babylon trap. That whoremonger male, you just get addicted to the pleasure. You get addicted to the connection. You just filled up on a different body, hugging and kissing, having access to her kitty, her feet, her melons, her watermelons, you name it. And these women having access to the eggplant, the broad shoulders, the washboard abs, or the big chubby dad pot belly. Or just in between, or just a guy who's just, tall, a guy who's husky, stocky. You just want a different variety and of different touches. And this is what nobody want to talk about. Is that there is a power of touch that does something to the body. And I think this is what is part of the conversation that is missing with this body count. You want to experience a different touch. You want to taste another person. Nobody wants to have this type of in-depth conversation because it doesn't help the algorithm. But if you cared about the message, yes, you want the algorithm to promote it, but you don't control the algorithm. You care about the algorithm because you want a check. You want super chats. You want cash app, and this is the problem. but it's a different touch. Now, most bodies, when it comes to sex, perform the same way. Now, you got your freaks, you got your, explore, adventure types, but what it boils down to it, there's just only two or three forms of traditional sex: doggy style, the missionary. Then there's the licking and sucking on body parts, other forms of activity, but it's just the outcome's still the same. Some people will make you comes. Some people will make you really squirt. But the performance is still kind of the same. But see, this is what's missing in the conversation.
Go back to vanilla sex or normal sex. How are you satisfied? And I know this for a fact because I know a lot of men say that my wife won't experience.
Because you have done those things too, baby. See, you try to switch the conversation, but you have done those things too. It's not just an interview. Stop the cap.
With me, my wife doesn't like this, my wife doesn't like that, or I don't get to do this, or my girl's not as sexual. But you don't want a girl who has more experience because is it an insecurity thing, or I really don't understand the real reasoning, because when guys say it, it says they don't want a girl with a lot of miles on them. So if you are having a lot of sex, what does that make you? No attacking.
Because these guys will be roasted, even though a lot of these dudes have dealt with the chick who's been around multiple blocks, different states, different cities. They have dealt with the city girl. Even the country girl has been wilding out. Just the difference is most dudes come to her spot and she cooks them in today's time, or probably just put something in the oven out of the frozen food section from the grocery store. But a lot of these dudes be fucking with the chick who's been around multiple blocks, because those women will give it up compared to the woman who's so-called conservative. And that's the issue. Now, you have women who are no damn different. I noticed that you got women who will go for dudes who are easy too. And a lot of men are more easy than these women. When it comes to having sex, that's why it's frowned upon when women have multiple sex partners, because women don't have to do anything. You could be in the way these dudes are super simps. The way these males are simps, these guys will screw anything they see. As long as you look like a female, you don't even have to be pretty no more. A lot of these dudes contribute to Lizzos. A lot of these guys want low-hanging fruit at the end of the day because they want to get off. A lot of these women are no different. These women prey on men who are of low-hanging fruit. A lot of these dudes will give it up, spend money on them. A lot of times, give them the dick, give them that D, touch them. They can find a guy for that, because guys are not willing to say, "No, baby girl, no, And when a woman is told, "Nah, you're not. You're just another woman to me. Nah, you ain't. I'm not feeling you like that. No disrespect." These women lose their mind. Not saying, but come on. Most dudes are told no. Most dudes are told no. You don't qualify. You don't qualify. You don't qualify. When guys get told yes, guys don't know how to react. Guys don't know how to go about it. That's why some of these guys we say, "Yo." That's why some of these dudes we be so quick to open up and say, "Yeah, I got some because he's not used to that. Now, it's hard for men to keep it a secret. It's hard for me to keep it a secret because people know when I start walking, my pace is a little fast. I'm all happy, joy. They know. I don't have to tell. You don't even have to tell nobody. People just sense it in a man. But the thing is, it's like a lot of these women want easy access to men too. Because really, a lot of these women do not want to put in the effort to get a man. They feel they don't have to, which is fine. But they shouldn't be complaining. They shouldn't be mad if a man have a certain type of preference. Because I would argue if you was that man's preference, you wouldn't be bitching. You wouldn't be complaining. Same with these men. If you was that person's preference, would you be upset if she says, let's just say you happen to be tall? I can tell you, tall guys do face a lot of challenges because it don't stop there with these women. You gotta have money. You gotta do this and that. You gotta be, and they want to ask you, are you loyal? But she got dudes on her phone that she could call anytime. So a lot of these women, actually, one of the guys they talk. These women will say they want a relationship to be PC. You got these dudes who talking about. Well, I think a lot of dudes do want a relationship, but you shouldn't have this until you get here in life. But whatever happened to having a helpmate and you building and growing together? This is where a lot of this is why this whole conversation is, because nobody's being honest. But you got a lot of people who want low. A lot of women want low hanging fruit. A lot of women see all men as low hanging fruit. You got women today who just want a man who just to himself. I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but it's usually because these women have had a lot of, or they don't, or it's just they don't want to. They feel like I ain't chasing no man, and I'm not saying she should. I don't believe anybody should chase anybody. If you go by who are you compatible with, and who are you connected to, and you're down for each other, and you're willing to um, be responsible with each other, respect each other, make the necessary sacrifices, and be there for each other to make each other's lives better, and fulfill each other till death do us part. So I'm not gonna say too much about this. I know I talked. I didn't mean to talk an hour, but you got a lot of these males who don't want to get roasted, but even though they sleep with women who've been around multiple blocks. A lot of these women don't want to be roasted because this dude don't look like he's sleeping with a bunch of women. It's just the whole divide and conquer. This is another form of the gender war agenda that's going on here. That's been going on for the last 60 years. But my thing is, if you're a guy who's never been out there or never had relations, and if you're one who happens to be a virgin who ain't never there, you're compatible. And I do agree, because my thing is, you have to have balance. When it comes to relationships between men and women, you have to have balance. You both gotta be almost equally yoked. You gotta have more similarities than differences compared to what other people say. And even when it comes to the similarities of men and women, they're parallel. The differences, because they're not different, that damn different. Certain things, but it's mostly parallel. We have a lot of similarities in the parallel. Let's be honest, people. Let's just keep it real. Let's just stop trying to sound good and just be real about who we are. Be honest with yourself first before you be honest with others. Anyway, hit the like button. Help support the channel from Cash App. And I'll see you again. See y'all later.